Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a band called Bulletbelt. Never even heard of them before, so I had to do a little bit of research and I didn't find very much, and what I did find was from Encyclopedia Metalhead, and as I've mentioned in a couple of previous videos, not all the information I've ever received from that website has been entirely accurate. In fact, more often than not, when I've taken information off that website and mentioned it in my videos, I've more often than not been corrected about a multitude of things that's normally wrong with the information from there. So, with that being said, it's the only place I could actually find any information about this band, so we'll just go with it, and if it's wrong, I'm sure somebody will correct me. And what it says is they are a blackened thrash metal band from Wellington, New Zealand, formed in 2009. The subjects of their songs cover subjects such as blasphemy, misanthropy, hatred, the occult, and history. So that's pretty typical for black metal, if they are indeed black/thrash metal, as it says. They have released 3 EPs, 4 full-length albums, 2 splits, and a live album, as well as supplying at least 2 tracks for the movie Deathgasm. And it just happens to be the track Deathgasm that I'm going to be looking at today. Now, I'm not familiar with what Deathgasm was, so I had a quick look on IMDb, and it seems to be a very sort of low-budget B-movie film, the sort of thing that probably perpetuates more the stereotypes of metalheads as being into Satanism and sacrifice and stuff like that, but I'm just going by what the film itself looked like, what the trailer itself looked like. Apparently it's very loosely based on The Evil Dead. You know, it's a bunch of kids who are accidentally raising some demon from the pits of hell and then having to find a way to fight it off and get rid of it again. So, you know, there's that. I may go and watch the film at some point, I don't know, but apparently this track is the title track from that movie. I have got some lyrics here. How accurate they are, I don't know, because I had to hunt around quite a bit to find them. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this. It says a black/thrash metal. So and there's something else that I'm curious about, because in the thumbnail for this video it shows that there is a female vocalist, but every picture I've seen there's been no female band members. When I looked at the band member listings on Encyclopedia Metalhead, there was no female band members listed, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening, whether they're a past member and they're no longer with the band, I don't know. But I don't know. We'll find out. We'll jump into the song now and see what we get. So this is Deathgasm by Bulletbelt. So let's have a look and see what we get. Ah. Right, well, there we go. That was Deathgasm by Bulletbelt, and actually quite a few things are explained there for me. So obviously, the film Deathgasm is very tongue-in-cheek. The band themselves don't seem to take themselves too seriously either, which is, it's always great to see a band having a laugh, messing around and, enjoying themselves. So a rather silly song, and seeing that video, obviously there was clips in there from the Deathgasm film for the most part, and it actually explains something that for ages and ages and ages I've seen this picture of the guy sitting on a park bench with all corpse paint on, sitting next to this girl in sort of pink flowery dress, and it's normally my taste in music, also my taste in music, and there have been numerous memes surrounding that particular image, and I never knew where it came from, but now I know. So there we go. There was numerous silly things in there. There was like the two guys in the forest with their corpse paint on, looking like the old sort of really bad black metal videos, like Immortal and very early Hecate Enthroned sort of thing. So a bit tongue in cheek. The film is obviously a bit tongue in cheek as well. I did say that it's probably one of those films that was perpetuating the stereotypes of heavy metal, and whilst it might be doing that, obviously they're not doing it seriously. It's a very tongue-in-cheek thing. They're just being silly, and more than anything, it's probably actually taking the piss out of the people who actually think that heavy metal is all this satanic, evil, sacrificing demon sort of thing. It's probably taking the piss out of those people more than actually perpetuating the stereotypes. So I will take that back, and maybe I was a bit hasty in my original impression of that film. But yes, a very interesting song. The vocal style, along with the musical style, I can see where they've come up with the black/thrash metal. The vocal style obviously more in keeping with black metal, whereas the musical style is typically more thrash metal. It's an unusual combination, I will say that much, but quite a catchy piece of music. Now, I'm not really expecting the lyrics of this track to be particularly deep. I mean, it's a soundtrack to a movie, a rather silly movie as well, and there isn't really much to, I think, investigate, because like I said, the film is apparently about this group of teenagers who accidentally summon a demon and then have to fight it and to get rid of it, so it's, like I say, it's loosely based on Evil Dead, which is actually happens to be one of my favourite series of films, but then I think most people enjoy that film. But anyway, the lyrics go: torment, the hate you always feel, summon him to bring hell and pain, suffer to gouge out your eyes and die before the eternal flame. Screaming at the evil, black magic demonoid, hacks and sword unleash hell today. Demons set free upon this world, fighting in the fields of decay. So now we stand on the world, unleash the beast inside, stand on the world, one final scream. Deathgasm. Accursed, recite the ancient hymn, Scarlet Tide wants the keys to death. Driven blood gushing from their eyes, hell and pain await all the rest. Summoning the king, evil hell-spawned beast, hacks and sword, apocalyptic raids. Destroy the brotherhood of steel, souls will merge, gasping for breath. So now we stand on the world, unleash the beast inside, death on the world, one final scream. Deathgasm. Screaming and writhing, the caverns of your soul, blinded and forced into the light. Searching and feeling, insanity will fall once more, the darkness deep inside, and that gets repeated 2 more times. Then it goes: torment, the hate you always feel, summon him to bring hell and pain, suffer to gouge out your eyes and die before the eternal flame. Screaming at the evil, black magic demonoid, hacks and sword unleash hell today. Demons set free upon this world, fighting in the fields of decay. So now we stand on the world, unleash the beast inside, stand on the world, one final scream. Deathgasm. So there you go. So essentially it just seems to be talking about, basically what the film is. They've summoned this demon, he's wreaking havoc upon the world, and they've got to try and fight against him and, destroy him. So, not a particularly deep track to investigate lyrically, but rather unusual, rather interesting, pretty catchy piece of music, a very odd combination of sounds going together. So, yes. I'm not really sure where else to go with that, because it was just so weird. Like I say, obviously quite tongue-in-cheek, a little bit silly, a bit unusual. But I am curious about the band members there, because like we saw in the video, the lead vocalist there was this woman doing these amazing sort of high-pitched black metal screams. But like I said, in all photos I've found, in like the list of band members and stuff, she's not listed, so I don't know who she is. Is she actually a member of the band? Is she just a guest musician? Is she like a guest vocalist for the track? Is she a previous member that's no longer with the band? I don't know. So I'm curious as to what that part is all about. But like I said, it was hard enough to find any information about the band as it was. So if anybody can actually help me with that piece of information, that would be great. Just let me know. But other than that, I think we'll leave that where it is for the time being. So if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you could even message me through Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would of course be a great help to me, since all of my videos get demonetized because I'm using other people's material in the video. I can't actually monetize anything, so I actually make nothing from my channel. There is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire. There is a limitation on how frequently you can do that, but that's just to be fair to other people who want to make suggestions through regular means such as Facebook, Instagram and YouTube comments. And if you do make suggestions through those regular means, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestion, since I get suggested so many tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it'll get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those involving people of the alternative culture. But obviously they want to put an end to all hate crimes. But it's something I can really get behind, something I feel very, very strongly about, because it's something I've had to deal with for most of my life. You know, it's something I've seen many of my friends and, you know, many of my family members go through, is the fact that people from the alternative culture are getting violently attacked just purely for the fact that they listen to alternative music or wear alternative fashion. And it's a real big problem that's been going on for many years. But it's something that's never getting addressed. No one ever speaks about it. Nothing ever gets done about it, and that is something that really needs to change. You know, we're not talking about, you know, just simple little things like names and insults being shouted across the street or getting shoulder rammed as you walk down the road. No, we're talking about real violent crimes where people are getting brutally attacked, violently beaten to the point where they're going into hospitals with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries. Now, we hear about all these other hate crimes on a daily basis: sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism. We hear these every single day, from the most violent and abhorrent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of the colour of their skin, or because of their sexual identity, or because of their religious beliefs, down to the most petty and pathetic of these crimes, where some entitled white woman is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic in a public space. You know, we hear these every single day in every facet of the media that you can possibly imagine. You know, these get covered every single day. But we never hear anything about these people that are getting brutally attacked just because of the music they listen to and the clothes that they wear. And, you know, people have argued with me in the past, you know, it's not a hate crime. Yes, it is. It is. It's the very definition of a hate crime. You know, if you are attacking someone because you hate a specific aspect about that person, whether it is the colour of their skin, their religious beliefs, their sexual identity, or the music that they listen to, if you are attacking someone because you hate that aspect about them, that is a hate crime. You know. But this specific one constantly gets ignored. You know, the last time there was any widespread coverage of this specific subject was 13 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently attacked, brutally beaten by a group of 5 or 6 people. And, you know, they were both beaten, kicked, punched, knocked to the ground, and, you know, they had their heads stamped on. They were attacked so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive. He was in coma for around about a week, maybe a little bit longer, but he thankfully survived. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman was 20 years old and she was beaten to death just because of the music that she listened to and the clothes that she wore. And, you know, at the time when this happened, this was all over the news for several weeks, several months. You know, it was all over the news. And then, inevitably, it sort of fell away. You know, the talk about it just sort of gradually faded, as with all things. But we've not heard a single thing since then. And in the 13 years since that happened, I know for a fact there have been several hundred, if not several thousand more similar incidents like this, and we've not heard a thing about it. And that's mainly because no one's died, and that's unacceptable. That shouldn't be a criteria for this subject. You know, we shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before this subject gets spoken about, before something gets done about this. You know, just 2 years ago, there was a young woman in Glasgow who was running a charity gig. And during the night, she had to go back to her home from the charity gig. She had to go back to her home, which was a 5-minute walk away from the venue. And during that journey, the 5 minutes between the venue and her home, she was attacked twice by a group of people. And this is the thing, it's always a group of people committing these crimes. You know, that these people are just cowards, you know, they won't do it one-on-one. As long as they've got a group behind them all egging them on, they'll just carry on. But this young woman, similarly to Sophie Lancaster, was set upon by this group of people, beaten, kicked, punched, knocked to the ground. Twice, in the space of 5 minutes. And, you know, thankfully, a passing taxi driver put an end to the violent attack. He didn't check to see if she was okay. You know, once the group had dispersed, he buggered off. She didn't get help until she got back to the venue where her friends were. But, you know, had that taxi driver not been there, this could have very easily gone the same way as the attack on Sophie Lancaster, and this young woman could have very easily been beaten to death. But where was this in the news? We didn't hear a goddamn thing about it. And that is not acceptable. Because it's only a matter of time before what happens to Sophie Lancaster happens again, and that is something we cannot allow. We cannot allow that sort of thing to happen ever again. It's something that never ever should have happened in the first place. But just by sitting back and ignoring it and not talking about this, we're essentially just letting these people get away with it. Because nothing's getting done. You know, these people are thinking, you know, we can beat up, attack, and violently abuse whoever the hell we want because no one, you know, we're not going to face any repercussions from it because no one cares. And that's not acceptable. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this sort of thing is happening. They want more people to realise that this is a real problem. You know, they don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 2 weeks because of the selfish and small-minded actions of a group of people who couldn't handle the fact that not everyone is the same. You know, everyone has the right to be an individual. Everybody has the right to be who they want to be. You know, if we all liked the same stuff, the world would be an insanely boring place. But you know, we can't keep allowing this to carry on. You know, I've seen countless friends and family members, I myself, have been through these sorts of attacks. And we can't allow it to carry on. Something needs to be done. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can pop over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their main goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it's like a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, or maybe even this one, you can get them off their web store. You know, they've got a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference, and the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.